oh my God, what am I going to do now? Because I'm afraid this thing might go south on us. Right? So don't worry about that. Let's go ahead and saddle him and just kind of progress on. We've only got 20 minutes left, but it's good to just get to another point. And this is about where we got last time with the saddle on him and then the rope on him, and then things went clear out to Pluto.
Okay. We've got a tractor coming, so sometimes he reacts, and then sometimes he pleasantly surprises us with no reaction.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the tractor going by, that to me is not an obstacle. That's an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have these open sides on this corral, so that his attention can be diverted easily. And then you have the ability to maintain his attention. And when you can do that in spite of what's going on around, then you're really getting into their mind and the control there. I was riding, a couple, 3-4 days ago, a couple miles away from home, and there's a neighbor, an older gentleman that's basically retired. His son has the ranch now, or their ranch that borders us, and he's got his dog out walking early in the morning. It was just a beautiful morning, about 7 in the morning, where it was pretty cool. And his dog come running at this horse that I've only got about a dozen rides on, and my horse just, faced him and tried to turn and run, and I wouldn't let him turn. I kept his head focused towards this dog, and he was watching the gentleman. The dog, of course, was closer, and he just tried everything he could to get away because this dog was going to eat him. Well, I just stopped, let him do it, and this gentleman says, "Man, I'm really sorry about that." And I go, No, don't worry about it, Joe. This is exactly a training opportunity. This is the stuff that you can't make up. This is why you're out and about like this, because it's an opportunity for you to control this horse, reassure him, do the right thing, and not let him turn away and run away. And they learn to trust you that, hey, this dog didn't eat me, this person didn't eat me, life is good. Is it fun to do it? No, it's not, because your adrenaline is up a little bit. You're trying to control yourself and control this, 1,100-pound animal that could potentially, hurt you. So it's not easy, but it's a good opportunity. So never, ever worry about stuff around you. What you do need to worry about is that you can control it safely as they're learning about it.
Good boy. So back to the size of the round corral would be an example of controlling him in this situation.
Yeah, and it isn't so much the control of an external thing, it's you being the external component there, or the ropes, or something different new. Oh, that's pretty good. He kind of shied a little bit, but he stood in place. His head is up. He's aware. All good stuff that will come down. He will get over this. It's just things that need to take place. And again, his neck comes out of his shoulders fairly high anyway. That's just kind of the way his build is.
Yeah, he's always just drafting it.
Yep. But he did not move any one of those 4 feet away from where you had him when you first started.
Boy. Good boy. Oh, you're doing a lot better at not walking off.
That's good. That's all mental control on you, and you're the one that's done that. Don't discount what you do and those small, tiny little progressive steps to get what you want. You're like any kind of progressive type of training. All you're doing is you're boiling the frog slow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so recognize those very small wins, or the behavioral changes for what they are. And sometimes it's hard for us to see that, especially when you're greedy like you and I are. You want these giant changes that work forever, and that's not always the way it works.
I never thought I was a greedy person until I started working with.
Yeah, it's all it's all in context, and they'll bring out the best and the worst in you sometimes too. When everything's looking good, it's great. I had some feedback from my oldest son. Kalen, Kalen. He was there at the clinic, and we were branding on Thursday, and we had to move little bunches of cows here and there and separate cows from calves, and we had to move horses over this pen and over in this pasture, and we had an idea what needed to be done. And he got frustrated because we had, a list of things we had to do. Is like those puzzle pieces where you move the numbers and you only got one slot to move them because we had so many different groups. I had a couple of different herds of yearlings, and then some with cows, and then I had some bulls, and then cows with calves, and it was just a giant puzzle. And of course, I'm not always that good about the long-term plan. And he said, finally, he got frustrated. He says, you communicate just fine with horses, but sometimes with people you suck. And I needed to hear that. It's like, you can't read my mind, even though I think sometimes that you work with somebody long enough, and you can just, you don't even have to communicate, because you just know what needs to be done. And that was kind of funny, and it was I could see the frustration on him. Of course, we got all these people helping us, and they kind of giggled and laughed a little bit, and it kind of eased the tension. But that's the same thing that happens here. You don't always communicate the best, so you have to look for those very small wins of communication that is repetitive, that you're doing it over and over and you're doing it right. And when you're not doing it right, recognize it, that, hey, maybe this is me too. It isn't necessarily the horse. It could be me. Sharon, one of the big things I see with you and him is when we first started working, is he is much more calm and quiet with your close, tight presence. That's a good thing.
Okay.
I'm looking at big picture stuff here now where, he might feel a little bit sticky to move because he's a little harder to move. But you know what? That beats the alternative. Where was he before? Where you had to be very careful about just approaching him, right?
That's true. When he first came here, it was even just petting him was, you didn't know if he was going to blow up or not. Not that he's dangerous. I've never felt like he's a dangerous horse. But
no, but that's just
been that change.
And you don't see that, over, the time that you spend with them, you don't always see those changes. And so I think that's why it's important to maybe point this out to you, is look at the progress that you've made on him at this point. It's huge, and you don't recognize it because you're also part of this boiling the frog slow in this progressive training, is that you don't always recognize the big picture and getting from the start to where you're at now and how much headway you've truly made.
Yeah, it's hard. It's easy to become narrow-minded.
It is, and so focused, like you're looking through a paper towel roll, that you don't see everything around that, only what you're working on at the time. And that is so important that you step back and see, okay, what am I doing right? Because it can be very, very frustrating to not be able to see that part. And for all of us, especially in the training portion of this, you don't realize how much good you're doing, and the potential to do poor or to allow poor activity or poor behavior is so big that when things are right, you don't really recognize it for that. So that's always keep that in mind too. You have to keep the short vision and the big picture at the same time.
Mhm. Good boy.
Yeah, good. Now here's something that you're doing a little bit of lateral flexion there and stretching his neck out and just getting him to stand without turning. There you go. Give into that bit. That's good. That's good stuff, because what you're doing is you're prepping him. Not only are you going back to the reining, you're prepping him for when you need to turn him, and you're going to, stretch his neck muscles. There you go. Good. And have him turn with you on the ground. And it's going to be different when you're on his back.
Come on, buddy. Up. Since I can't move now.
Yeah. There again, a really good example of how you have progressed in the training to the point where now it's almost difficult sometimes to get him to move away from you.
Good boy.
Very good.
Boy. It's interesting. I haven't experienced this with many horses, but we talk about using our energy and having that mental control, and I've always noticed that in most scenarios, maybe not the rope scenario, but in most scenarios, I feel like I have more control and I'm not touching him. And all of a sudden, when I touch him to back up or pull on his reins to back up, all of a sudden he kind of deadens out and I can't get him to do anything anymore. But if I use my energy and voice commands, then all of a sudden he kind of reacts a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that's right. And if you're using that energy of your body and you're manipulating that in yourself, and you put that together with your physical, just like you're doing now, using a cue, and then you push that energy out of your chest, and then look where he did. He didn't move forward. He moved away from you. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're pushing that energy out of your body. They feel that. They feel that with each other. Heck, we feel it at an unconscious level, and we don't even realize it. But that's how we interact with each other so much. And we've done some of these exercises with the using cues and your body. I think we touched on a little bit of that in the clinic when I was there a week and a half ago. Or has that been 2.5? Oh my goodness, I don't remember. It's been, the days just fly by, don't they?
No, it seems like just yesterday you're here.
I know. How do you feel about putting the drive lines on him? Are you at a point with him that, have you been doing that?
I played the fifth.
I can hear the hesitation. I can hear the hesitation in your voice.
I am more than willing to do it, but no, I have been really bad about practicing with him.
Okay. Let's do this. Since it's been a while, and as slow as he is, and you're getting some warmth there, and here's some tips that I use at times too. When I want this horse to slow down, or I need him to slow down, and it's starting to get hot for you over there right now, it's starting to get hot here, I will use that heat. Use your environment to your advantage.